I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So here we go. We are continuing our story of old Ahab, king in Israel. And of course, this is all during the time that Jehoshaphat is king in Judah. But we pick this up now. This is in chapter 21. Ahab has just had a war with Syria. Lasted 2 years. They beat Syria. But Ahab was cursed by God for not killing the king of Syria, Ben-Hadad. Now we pick this up here in chapter 21 of 1 Kings. Ahab desires the vineyard of Naboth. Jezebel arranges for false witnesses, and Naboth is stoned for blasphemy. Elijah prophesies that Ahab and Jezebel and their house shall be destroyed. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or, if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. And Ahab came into his house, heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down on his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. Okay, first of all, Ahab is being a big baby. Ahab is being a big baby here. He's having a tantrum. He's going on a hunger strike because somebody won't sell him his land. Now, Naboth is a faithful man to God. Now, you also got to remember that this is shortly after Elijah and the test on Mount Carmel, and they killed all the priests of Baal. So we don't have, at least not as much Baal worship as we did. Elijah seems to have gotten rid of all the... Sorry, there's a semi-truck going past. Elijah seems to have gotten rid of primarily all the worship of Baal here in the northern kingdom. He's driven it out almost completely. And we'll see more evidence of this in this story. But Naboth, he is following the law of Moses. Everybody was given their own land, their inheritance, their family's land, and they were not allowed to sell it. Or if they did sell it, it had to be temporary and then revert back to them after a certain period of time, unless it was in the city. And this is a vineyard. This is unlikely to be in the city. But he's saying, no, the Lord told us to hold on to our inheritance, and I'm going to do that. So we do see some return to the worship of God after Elijah and the test on Mount Carmel. 1 second. So we pick this up in verse 5. But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles, who were the inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. So this is where we get more evidence that the worship of God has been largely restored. Because Jezebel is not going about this in the pagan way. She gets him killed according to the law of Moses. She uses blasphemy, which under the law of Moses is a crime punishable by death. So she uses the law of Moses because they've killed all the priests of Baal. They've taken Baal out of here. And so now she has to resort to the law of the land. They've reestablished the one true God. Now, they haven't taken out all idol worship. They still got the 2 golden calves. They still probably have their own personal idols. But the national deity is now God. And so she has to resort to the law of Moses in order to the corruption of the law of Moses in order to get this done. But it's all a conspiracy of corruption. They murder Naboth under the guise of the law. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. So that's the end of our conspiracy. Kill him, take his land. Just like Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, ostensibly for the purpose of taking his land. Verse 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. So again, this is the pronouncement that was made against Jeroboam and against Baasha, and their families were completely wiped out. All their descendants, all their children were killed when the next usurper, the next king, came in to claim the throne. But I do like that. Elijah comes to deliver his message, and Ahab sees him. You found me, mine enemy? Ahab is still angry at Elijah. The last time they saw each other was the test on Mount Carmel. And Ahab had to Ahab had to watch while all the priests of Baal were killed by the people. And his wife was not happy about that. Jezebel has been seeking to kill Elijah since then. He is the great troubler of Ahab. Ahab sees Elijah as his mortal enemy. And I like that. Have you found me, mine enemy? And Elijah doesn't contradict him. I found you. But I'm only your enemy because you are being evil. I'm here because you have chosen wickedness, and so God has sent me. If you were righteous, I wouldn't be here. Let's finish this out. Verse 25. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things, as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted, and lay in sackcloth, and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. So Ahab is worse than anybody else. Now, they all set up idol worship. But Ahab, he's going to murder. He's using God's own law to commit crime, to commit sin. the worst sins. So he's worse than anybody. But when this pronouncement is made against him, he puts on the sackcloth, he mourns, he bows down to God, he does, as it says, he humbles himself before God. He doesn't repent exactly, but he acknowledges God. And so God says, okay, we will delay and let you die in peace. Or let your family won't be destroyed while you're alive. We'll let you live out your life, and then we're going to destroy your family. So it's an interesting thing that God is still, even Ahab, who is just an evil man, yet God is willing to see what little good there is in him. God's mercy is still there, and I like that. So we're going to leave that one here, and we'll see you in chapter 22.